government to go door to door to make sure you're vaccinated because I guess you really haven't had the opportunity to get a free vaccine. Oh, wait. Anyone who hasn't gotten the vaccine at this point doesn't want the vaccine. And it used to be, it was your choice. You could decide what medicine to take. If you didn't think you wanted it or needed it or was good for you, you didn't have to take it because it was your body, your choice. Turns out that was a complete lie. And we know for certain because most colleges, feels like most colleges in the United States are now forcing their students to prove they've been vaccinated. Very few exemptions, if any, before they can get an education in the fall. They've already paid for college, but they can't come back on campus until they get the shot. Now, many of them have already recovered from COVID. A lot of them have already recovered. They shouldn't get the shot. It's not good for them. There's a risk involved, much higher than of COVID. But colleges are forcing them anyway. It's not your body. It's not your choice. Very few have fought back against this, very few. But tonight there is a new effort to stop mandatory vaccination of college students. The group Turning Point USA is calling this new campaign No Forced Vax. Charlie, first of all, thank you for doing this. We've been waiting. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen happen in this country. And I'm just so grateful that someone is organizing resistance to us. Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Tucker. And so my wife and I made the decision not to get the vaccine, and I announced that at an event a couple months ago. And then some of our Turning Point USA students came up to me. They said, Charlie, we can't make that same decision if we want to continue going to college. I said, what do you mean? They said, my university is basically mandating us to get the vaccine, saying that if we do not get the vaccine, then we're going to have to be subject to testing, or we have to take online courses, or wear a mask, sometimes outside at universities where we've been told that masking actually makes almost no difference outside of the transmission of the virus. What's happening here, Tucker, is force and control. And what's been really strange to see is how few organizations or people are pushing back against this. Yeah. So we organize high school and college kids. This is obvious for us, saying that we are not going to tolerate students to be forced to get the vaccine against their will. This is a very simple issue. It's about medical freedom and privacy. And if you have concerns about the vaccine, which, by the way, a lot of people do, including Dr. Malone and Brett Weinstein, you should be able to opt out of the vaccine, especially if you're an 18 or 19 or 20-year-old, where you are the lowest risk cohort in the entire country of dying from the Chinese coronavirus. The stories are mounting of young people that have got the vaccine and then have unusual health events afterwards. At Turning Point USA, we are going to give it everything we have to make sure that students are not going to have to live in a medical apartheid because they don't want to get the vaccine.
Well, it's beyond belief. I mean, this is exactly what they told us right-wingers, once they took over the government in The Handmaid's Tale, were going to do to the country. They would force you to put things in your body that you didn't want. They had full control over your body. You no longer had dominion over your body. What can college students do exactly? Do you think you can force these colleges to pull back from this?
So the first thing is we're going to offer legal help through some legal experts we know to any sort of exemptions that might exist, especially at public universities where there might be religious exemptions. Those are going to be tough, Tucker, because unfortunately we have not seen the type of decisive action that these Republican state legislators should have been taking this spring and early summer to be able to grant exemptions for their students. We're going to put pressure on Republican governors and say you have to make sure the state universities do not mandate these vaccines and create these almost two realities. It's this medical ultimatum. But more than anything else, Tucker, what we are going to do is a massive public relations campaign and make sure students know they are not alone. They don't have to hide in the shadows. All of a sudden, they're concerned that if they get the vaccine, they're going to be treated as if there's something. I said this earlier, and this is a big statement, but it's almost this apartheid-style open-air hostage situation. Like, oh, you can have your freedom back if you get the jab. This is unacceptable. We're going to fight back against it.
That's exactly right. And I hope that people will not comply by any means necessary. I think it's that important not to force you to take medicine you don't want, don't need, and that could hurt you. I mean, this is like basic. What country is this? Charlie Kirk, thank you for doing this. Godspeed.
Thank you.